going on, ladies and gentlemen? Oh god. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today is a very special day because the Premier League season is back once again. And today we are going to be talking my picks and predictions for this year's Premier League season. I'm looking to rebound a little bit from last year because, well, let's just say I smoked a little bit of hopium.
Down to the two Manchester clubs, United v City. As you could tell, there's one team I would love to put ahead of the other, but I have to be realistic here. I think United are going to come just short of the title.
Yeah, I definitely didn't put my favorite team in second because I just went to one of their preseason games and watched them smoke Arsenal, and I was like, oh my god, we're the greatest team ever. At least I didn't say we're going to win the league, but still. Okay, let's get into this. Yeah, without further delay, bish bash bosh, let's get into it. Well, at the bottom of the barrel again, I have Southampton. I mean, it is great to see Southampton back in the Premier League, but, yeah, with Southampton, they finished last season with 3.9% more possessions than every other team in the Championship last year. They also finished 14th out of the 24 teams in goals conceded, so they're great attacking, but not so great defensively, and you're going to need to be good defensively if you want to stay in the Premier League as a team in the relegation battle, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Southampton at the bottom. I mean, I haven't really even heard much of who they brought in for recruits, so sorry for the Saints' sake, but in 19th, I've got, where are they here? Come on. Nottingham Forest. I mean, another similar issue. I mean, Nuno Espirito Santo, he's been a good manager to come in and take care of the helm at Nottingham Forest, but they just concede too many goals. Kind of like Southampton, they've been really good attacking. I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White has been an absolute beast, but yeah, Nottingham Forest conceded an extra 17.8 goals by the post-shot XG estimates last year. They need to stop conceding. I mean, it really makes me wonder how we didn't score more on these guys last season, being a Man United fan. But, I mean, a few players left. I mean, excuse me, they brought in Carlos Miguel from Brazil, so a few decent players have been brought in. They're definitely going to incorporate Nuno's style, but I seen from his time at Wolves, Nuno's style isn't the greatest style, so I really do think this will be Nottingham Forest's year to head down to the Championship once again, personally. And in 18th, I'd really, really love to see this team stay in the Premier League, but I have Ipswich Town just missing out on the Premier League stay. I mean, yeah, every team in the Premier League has a transfer market value of at least 220 million for their squad, except one, and that's Ipswich Town. And I mean, they only have 100 million to work with, which sounds like a lot, but for Premier League standards, it really ain't. But I mean, I really hope Kieran McKenna can keep Ipswich Town in the Premier League. It's kind of like Luton last season, but it would be so cool to see Ipswich Town stay in the Premier League. I mean, they've got Ed Sheeran behind them, so they're in love with the shape of them, I guess. But yeah, if Kieran McKenna keeps them up, then give them a knighthood, honest to God. Well, now that we're out of the relegation zone, let's talk about the lower to mid-table. The teams that will be fighting a little bit for relegation, but they'll stay in the Premier League, essentially. I mean, for the first time in a while, I have a promoted team staying in the Premier League, and that's Leicester City. I mean, this is probably more of a hopium pick, but they have Adam Plazek coming into the squad. I actually did not know that. He's one of the unsung heroes of my Bayer Leverkusen career mode, if you guys are watching that. But, no, Jamie Vardy, obviously the leader of this Leicester team. He's been there through the Premier League win. Oh my god, the Leicester Premier League win was almost 10 years ago. Dude, I'm getting old. Oh my god. But I mean, yeah, no, the Jamie Vardy and the Leicester decline is coming on, but I mean, yeah, no, Hlosek's alone too, so that's interesting. I mean, Daka, he's been a good player, so Kieran Shrewsbury Hall, he left. He went to Chelsea, right? Chelsea just love to buy anyone. I'm surprised they didn't find the one Leicester player with dreads, but man, yeah, no. Well, are they supposed to have a point deduction? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I'm reading an article to help give me a preview as well. I'll put the article I used to like help me do the previews in the description, but are they really getting a point deduction? Because if that's so, then put them at the bottom of the league then. Good grief, but oh, good God. But I really hope Leicester stay up. Maybe Steve Cooper can do it. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think it could be a good season for Leicester magically wise. But in 16th, I've got Everton. Excuse me again. Everton scored 19 goals from open play last season and 19 from set plays last year. Only Arsenal scored more from set plays. So obviously Everton got some big players. I mean, Jarrett Branthwaite was obviously someone Man United were after, but I mean, we ended up getting Lenny Yoro and Matthias de Ligt, so I can't really complain. But the Toffees spent 19 million on Marseille's Ilman Nidé, so decent player. Seems like a decent player. He got 3 goals last season, but I mean, that was in Ligue 1 too, so that probably equals to about 0 or 1 Premier League goals. So the Toffees really need someone to step up this season, but I mean, they have Sean Dyche, so they're not getting relegated, but I mean, it's crazy to think, like, 7-8 years ago, Everton were like that consistently 7th place in the league team, and now they're fighting for relegation every year, so that kind of does blow my mind. In 15th, where are we? We have Brentford. Okay. Obviously, they have 2 big additions. They have Iago Thior from Club Brugge coming in, but they also have Fabio Carvalho from Liverpool. So that is a big addition for him. I mean, Thiago scored two goals in a preseason friendly against Wimbledon, but I mean, it is Wimbledon. That's 2 divisions below, but still decent competition. I mean, Carvalho's been on loan the last couple seasons. Liverpool cashed in on him, and I mean, honestly, as much as I hate Liverpool, I could see the talent in Fabio Carvalho. I mean, he seemed like a decent player, and I think he can keep the job done. I think Ivan Toney will stick around for another season. I mean, and it was a full season of Ivan Toney. He will definitely bag a few goals, put them on the score sheet, so you never truly know what will happen there, but Thomas Frank sticks around as manager too. I just see a lot of consistent things happening here at Brentford, and I think they'll be able to obtain 15th this season. In 14th, I have got, where are they? The Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, oh, excuse me. I mean, oh, come on, stop burping, goddammit. But Wolves got Hwang Hee-chan at striker, who's been a real difference maker in my opinion. They actually did the double over Spurs and Chelsea last season, but and still finished 15th in points. But I think they'll improve on one this season. They don't have Pedro Neto now, who was one of their better players, but I mean, he didn't bag a whole hell of a lot of goals, to be fair. I mean, did he attract attention? Yes, but like, he wasn't making a huge difference, if you know what I mean. Gary O'Neill's side, they're going to need to stay strong defensively. I mean, Jose Sa, I've always thought he's been an excellent goalkeeper. I mean, Wolves have always been a giant killer, and I mean, yeah, I think they just really need to up their goal rate last season, because that was the one thing letting them down. I mean, the loss of Mateus Nunes might have hurt them with that a little bit. The loss of Ruben Neves definitely hurt. Maybe we're going to be counting on someone like Mateus Cunha, Hwang Hee-chan, obviously, to get on the score sheet. But yeah, as long as they stay strong defensively and get the goals when they need to, I think Wolves will be fine. That's why I've got them in 14th. And in 13th, where are they? I have, come on, Brentford, no, Bournemouth. the big loss for Bournemouth is obviously Dominic Solanke. That is a huge loss. Solanke is off to Tottenham, so I honestly think Solanke is a very good replacement for Harry Kane. But yeah, no, Dominic Solanke was relentless last season. He had 19 Premier League goals, and he played all but 5 league matches in the last 3 seasons. Like, that is an unbelievable record. The Cherries are going to have to find another striker to fill in Solanke's role, obviously. But, I mean, that's why I have them finishing down in 13th, because I don't think they'll be able to find that immediately. But maybe they'll be able to bring someone up through the youth academy who can be like, oh, this guy can score a lot of goals. Let's put him into the starting lineup. But, I mean, they got a decent sum of cash for Dominic Solanke as well, so maybe they'll be able to invest that. We will see. But, yeah, I've got Bournemouth finishing 13th. And starting with the higher mid-table, in 12th place we have Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, the real question for Brighton is, will they have any new youngsters break out like last season? I mean, obviously, Evan Ferguson broke out last season. He ended up getting 6 goals in 10 matches. Brighton ended up in a top 6 spot. They were in a Europa League berth not too long ago, but I mean, Roberto De Zerbi's leaving. So, new manager Fabian Holzer's leaving. I mean, if any team can bring in, like, the new greatest young talent, I mean, it's obviously Brighton. Like, if you want to find the next up-and-coming talent, just look at Brighton's youth and academy. I mean, they have 2 new winger prospects in Yabkuna Mate and Ibrahim Osman. Their potential for a bounce back depends on how effective these brand new young players can be, but they've got some new signings coming in, obviously. But I mean, the Seagulls could always be on for a good season. I mean, if you want to talk about a giant killer, Brighton are definitely one of those giant killers. They always seem to be giving the top teams a good run for their money, and I mean, yeah, no, like, being a United fan, I've always hated playing Brighton because, I mean, something could always go wrong against them. It always happens against Brighton. But, yeah, I could definitely see Brighton causing some problems. But, I mean, I think they're not a team I feel like I can predict any higher, especially with the teams I've already got ahead of them. But I think it's not fair to them to predict them any lower. But I actually did predict them in the right position last year, so maybe I can do it again. But I have got Brighton finishing in 12th this season. In 11th, we have, where are they? Come on, I know in this article, yeah. In this article, they're predicted to finish 16th, but Fulham. The big story is, can they replace Joao Palhinha? That is the big issue. He left for Bayern Munich, so it's gonna be a very, very big task to replace Joao Palhinha. But I mean, I do think bringing in Emile Smith-Rowe will be a huge help to Fulham. I mean, I just feel like Emile Smith-Rowe just suits Fulham so well. His style of play, the way Fulham plays, I just feel like he suits them so well. I know there was even talk of bringing Scott McTominay in last season, but Emile Smith-Rowe's more of a number 10, where, I mean, he was Arsenal's number 10, to be fair, but the biggest issue for Fulham is, can they find that number 8, number 6 hybrid to replace Joao Palhinha? And I mean, they may have someone from the youth academy. I mean, Robinson challenged him for team lead, but Palhinha still ranked first. And yeah, no, Joao Palhinha, he was a beast. There's no denying Joao Palhinha was a beast for Fulham last year. So it's going to be a big, big task for Fulham to get their hands. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a big, big, big task for Fulham to try and replace Joao Palhinha. But I think they've made a really great recruitment in Emile Smith-Rowe, and he may end up being one of the signings of the season, in my opinion. Top 10 for sure. But I really like Emile Smith-Rowe to Fulham. And in 10th, we're getting in the top half of the table now. They've lost one of their better players, obviously, but everyone's favorite dark horse, South London's Crystal Palace. No teams empathize the mid-table more than Crystal Palace, in my opinion. Since returning to the league 10 years ago, the Eagles have finished between 10th and 15th every season. Roy Hodgson finally left at the beginning of last season. New manager Oliver Glasner. He's been... Oh my god, excuse me. He's been a great addition. He really has, I mean... Yeah, no, only since Glasner took over in mid-February, only Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City managed more points after Glasner took over. So that is a pretty big statement. But there's a lot of questions to be asked after Michael Olise left for Bayern Munich. He was a player I really wanted at Man United, but we have Amad Diallo, so I'm not complaining. But still, they've got Eze and Marc Guéhi still. If they both leave, who knows? I mean, Jean-Philippe Mateta, he'll be a good goal scorer for them. Adam Wharton was selected for the Euros with England. That's a very big honor to have at such a young age. So, yeah, Crystal Palace could do some big things this year. I've got them finishing 10th. I think this could be one of their better seasons, but we'll see who ends up replacing Olise. But I think Eze he will still help. I mean, Mateta will still get on the score sheet, so we'll see how it all goes. In 9th, we have really one of our first big hitters, and that is, where are they here? Oh my god. Newcastle United. Newcastle performance fell off a cliff last November and didn't improve at the end of the final 6 weeks of the season. But guess who still beat them in the final 6 weeks of last season? Man United. I mean, the Magpies ranked 12th in expected goals allowed. Their defense was absolutely shot with injuries the whole season. But, yeah, now that with a fresh season rolling back, Tonali back just before September, the Magpies will definitely come into the season with some more hope and optimism. But as long as Sandro Tonali's not betting, everything will be just fine. So, yeah, I think Newcastle should be on for a decent season. I mean, but I think a lot of it will have to do this season with their, like, the infrastructure of the club. I mean, the head chairman's gone, what's the lady's name there? I can't even remember, but the main couple who was leading the Newcastle Saudi trust fund or whatever, they're gone and out the door, so. And I haven't heard much of signings in the Newcastle way either, so can Newcastle really finish much higher than last season? I've just seen more improvement out of different teams to really take their spot, so I just don't see Newcastle having much better of a season than they did last year. I just think too many teams have improved around them to really make their spot, but unfortunately for Newcastle, I have got them finishing in 9th. I think that would be considered a disappointing season for them. Maybe Eddie Howe might even be out the door. But my 8th place team is Chelsea. They have Cole Palmer. That's really about it. If they didn't have Cole Palmer, I'd probably put him in 12th. But oh, Chelsea. It's gonna be chaos, especially with the whole Enzo Fernandez thing. I mean, they do have great talent everywhere, but, like, Chelsea have 8 goalkeepers on the squad right now. How do you have 8 goalkeepers, bro? What is... And friggin' Cole Palmer is on contract till 2033. Like, good grief. I mean, Cole Palmer's gonna have to get 30 goals this season, just so Chelsea won't finish in the bottom half of the table, in my opinion. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, they've looked terrible in preseason. They lost like 4-0 to Celtic, I think it was. So, oh my heaven's sakes. And yeah, they also conceded 4 to Man City on preseason too, but Enzo Maresca, he hasn't given a lot of his team, hasn't given anyone much hope over preseason. I still don't know why they sacked Poch considering the second half of the season. Now apparently he's going to the US men's national team. So, do what you wish, but yeah, no, they've got some reliable players. I know he can rely. I think Marceska's gonna rely a lot on his old players from Leicester, like Levy Colwill, Shrewsbury Hall. So yeah, I just don't see a very good season for Chelsea coming. If I'm gonna be honest, I just don't see it. Now on to the European places. Excuse me again, but I think West Ham will be finishing 7th. I think West Ham will be getting a Conference League spot. God damn it, why do I keep burping? But come on, get it out of your mouth. The Hammers had, don't take that out of context. The Hammers had one of the worst 5 defenses in the Premier League last season. I mean, yeah, David Moyes, yeah, he had prioritized a lot of defensive solidity. Moyes is now gone, Lopetegui now the manager, and the Hammers have invested a ton of money to fix the holes in their squad. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Max Kilman, Jean-Claire Todibo, who's another player I really wanted at United, but obviously I'll take Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt. Yeah, they've still got Jared Bowen, they still got Mohamed Kudus, they still got Lucas Paqueta if he doesn't get taken off for a betting scandal. And I mean, Nicholas Füllkrug is now the leading man. He's now the target man up front for West Ham. I think Füllkrug had some huge performances for Dortmund in the Champions League and the Bundesliga last season, so good God, dude, excuse me, but I really think Füllkrug will pay off. I think Füllkrug will be a massive signing for West Ham. Lots of great talent all around that pitch for West Ham, and I mean, I think the new additions and the new manager will help West Ham a lot this season. And I mean, having Aaron Wan-Bissaka, trust me, I've watched this guy week in and week out for Man United. Some of the tackles this guy could make are second to none. You've got a great right back, West Ham. You've got a great player, and I mean, I'm not going to look forward to him locking down Rashford next season. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing West Ham this season. I think they've got a really good team. And in 6, I have got Aston Villa. But I think their Champions League obligations will hurt them a lot. We've seen them with Newcastle last season, but Unai Emery has proven himself to be a competent navigator of European competitions. Many will identify Aston Villa's potential Champions League knockout sleeper, but I mean, I personally think Aston Villa, if they have Unai Emery at the helm, you just know they're going to find a way into the Europa League and then somehow beat every team in existence and then somehow win the Europa League. I hope not, because Man United are in the Europa League. I'd love to see us win a European trophy again, but it is what it is. I don't even care if it's the Europa League, but big exits for them are going to be Douglas Luiz and Moussa Diaby, but with plenty of new bodies coming in, I mean, what's his face? I mean, Ian Maatsen, he's going to be a very good signing for them. I'm really, really impressed with Ian Maatsen, especially with Dortmund last year. Combine that with Ollie Watkins up front, scoring so many goals last year. And I mean, he got England's biggest goal in the Euros last year, so over the summer. So yeah, I really think Ollie Watkins will be the key to Aston Villa's success this year. If they can get him going again, they'll do perfectly fine. But with Douglas Luiz and Diaby out the door, mainly Douglas Luiz, I do think that'll be a hard one to get your head around, but yeah, I have got Aston Villa finishing 6th. Well, I don't think Europe will hurt them too much, but I do think it will sting things a little bit. And in 5th, we have Liverpool. Liverpool obviously have Arne Slot coming in, a brand new manager. I may be biased on this one, I'm not going to lie, but here's my thing with Liverpool. I think they're going to struggle a little bit. I mean, it's their first season without Klopp in over 10 years, I think it is. Something like that. But the way I see it, man, I just don't think Liverpool... I don't think... It's going to take a while for them to adapt to Slot's system. I mean, they haven't even signed anyone. Like, They tried to get Zubamendi, but he rejected them. Endo's still holding down the center defensive midfield. I mean, they have no new signings. They've only have outgoings, so a new manager needs signings. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, obviously they still got Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah, even though he had a really rough end to last season. I love that Amad Diallo canceled their documentary for last year. I friggin' love that. But I hope they actually do end up releasing it, because I will watch it just for that. That'll be the best part of that whole documentary. But yeah, where do the Reds turn, in my opinion? Everything's the exact same as last season. No improvements. I mean, Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister are great midfielders, but they had a lot of injury problems last year. That's why you saw Jarell Quansah playing a lot last season. Tsimikas, all these guys. So they definitely needed new recruits, Liverpool, but they don't have them. So I've got them finishing 5th. I just don't see it being the greatest season ever for Liverpool fans. Take it as a rebuilding year. Take it as a rebuilding year. That's the way I see it if you're a Liverpool fan. Well, let's end this off with my top 4. And I'm not predicting them any higher. I think this is honestly the perfect place to predict them after last season is Man United. Obviously, you guys know I am a Man United fan through and through. But I want to address this. I think this will help us a lot this season. Our defense was garbage last season. I mean garbage, with injuries to Martinez, Varane, virtually all season. More times than not, we were left with Maguire, Johnny Evans, or Casemiro at center back. Think about that for a second. Think about that. But now that we've got Lisandro Martinez back to full fitness, Lenny Yoro, oh my god, Matthias de Ligt, holy hell, I am excited. Our defense needed improvement, and my god, we are so much better. It sucks that Lenny Yoro will be injured to start the season. It sucks that Rasmus Højlund will be injured to start the season, but if I was to build the best United starting 11 on paper right now, I'd put Onana, Mazraoui at left back, because Luke Shaw's always injured. We're gonna have to buy a new left back, but honestly, I think Harry Amass is gonna come up good. Personally, if I could get the cash for Luke Shaw, I'd sell him. I would. I'd buy a new left back. Harry Amass would be the backup, because who knows what's gonna happen in Malacia. Then it's gonna be Martinez, de Ligt, Dalot, Mazraoui backing him up, Casemiro at defensive midfield, backed up. Well, hopefully we'll have Ugarte in by the end of the season too, but we'll see. This will be a 10 out of 10 window if we get Ugarte, in my opinion. But Mainu, Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund. That's the starting 11 I'm rocking with. I think in a year or two, that's a Premier League winning team. But this year, we have to build with what we got. This is going to be a massive season for us. And I mean, I think Onana will have a much better season. You can just tell when he wasn't getting peppered with shots all the time, he did great. Onana was a great goalkeeper last season. He just started off the season really shaky in the Champions League. He was up there with the most clean sheets in the Premier League with a defensive system that was that bad. So I think it's going to be a great season for us. But yeah, no, Kobbie Mainoo, oh, that boy could be huge for us this year. That boy could be absolutely huge. Bruno Fernandes just got a new contract, so we'll see how that all goes. Joshua Zirkzee, haven't even talked about him yet. He could be a massive signing, but oh god. Will you please stop burping, dude? But yeah, I've got Man United finishing 4th. Good god, I'm just reading that. Luton Town and Sheffield United conceded fewer XG per match after March 1st last season. It was like, holy crap, dude. Our defense was awful. Absolutely awful. We need to fix the holes in midfield to give the back line some help, but like, good god. We've we had work to do, and we've definitely improved on that. But we need Manuel Ugarte, in my opinion, especially with Amrabat heading back to Fiorentina. We need Ugarte, in my opinion. But the team that I've got finishing third is Tottenham Hotspur. They've shown really good progress last season. I mean, Vicario between the sticks was a big signing for them. Postecoglou really had them going, especially towards the beginning of the season. But Solanke coming in, Madison with a full season, Son will surely have another good, consistent season. Another more great young prospects like Bergaval, Archie Gray. There's going to be a lot of big signings at Tottenham Hotspur, and I can see them having a very, very, very big season once again. Spurs fans will grow impatient. I don't blame them for being impatient. I mean, all they have in the last, 50 years is an Audi Cup and whatever trophy they won on preseason last year. So, with Tottenham, I really do think they're going to make a strong push this season. I think they're going to get back into the Champions League. I think they're going to finish third. So, look out for Tottenham. I think it'll be a good season for them. And in second place, who do you think I got winning the Premier League, guys? Do you think it'll be Arsenal or will it be Man City? I've got Arsenal finishing second and City winning the league. But when it comes to the Gunners, they had the third youngest average age in the Premier League last season. You consider how well they did, that's a pretty big understatement. But I mean, they only brought in that one defender from Bologna, Calafiori or whatever his name is, but Arsenal just aren't winners. They aren't. I really hate to break this to Arsenal fans, but they just aren't winners. They are not winners. I mean, they have a great team around them. I mean, Bukayo Saka obviously is brilliant. I mean, Trossard came really good last season. Odegaard's a great player, but these guys, they're not winners. I mean, Havertz, I've got Havertz on fantasy this year, so hopefully Havertz does well, but there's not a winning mentality on this team. There just isn't. There just isn't a winning mentality. That could really bite me at the end of the season because, well, City are going to court here in January, and all their league titles could be stripped, but Man City to win, obviously. They actually have lost a lot of players. I mean, Julian Alvarez has gone to Atletico Madrid. I think that'll be a huge loss for them. But I mean, they also have they still got Haaland. They still got De Bruyne. They've got Doku. He's been great. Jeremy Doku. I'm jealous of Man City with him. He's a great player. I mean, Grealish will get his 5 goals. That's all Grealish ever does is get 5 goals. Put Grealish back on Villa and he'll be doing great, in my opinion. But De Bruyne, obviously. Rodri, good God, what a player he is. What a player Rodri is. But, yeah, I mean, if Rodri were to go down, they don't have a lot of depth in defensive midfield. I mean, the only really new player that they brought in is, who's that Brazilian fella? Salvio, I think his name is. I mean, he came on the Community Shield and he did nothing. I mean, hopefully someone cleans Bernardo Silva's... Well, hopefully just someone cleans Bernardo Silva out at some point because... Yeah, I really did not like him in the Community Shield after he cleaned out Garnacho and after he cleaned out... after he scored against us, but he had his penalty saved against Onana, so it was kind of gotten back at least, but man, I think City are winning the Premier League this year. It sucks, but yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. City they're just good. I can't deny it. Hopefully next year I'll go to the red side of the city instead of the blue side, but I've got Man City winning the Premier League again. Well, sorry for all the advertisements, but these are my picks, once again, for the Premier League season. To recap, Southampton finishing bottom, Nottingham Forest, Ipswich Town, Leicester City, Everton, Brentford, Wolves, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Chelsea, West Ham, Aston Villa, Liverpool, United, Tottenham, Arsenal, and Man City winning the league. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. What are your predictions for the Premier League 20 through 1? Subscribe, notifications turned on so you don't miss any FC24 uploads and all that fun stuff. But yeah, guys, I will see you for this whole Premier League season. You'll be watching my Man United recaps a lot if you follow my shorts, so keep an eye on that. And yeah, enjoy the season, guys. I think we've got a good one on our hands. And hopefully City don't win it again this year. I predicted them to win it again, but hopefully they don't. Take care and push!